Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode here on the channel. Today we are finishing off the short track swing here with Martinsville Speedway at the Paperclip in Virginia. Very excited for this one now before we move to the larger scale track of Talladega Super Speedway going into the next episode. We are currently the last driver in the playoffs by 1 point over our teammate of Justin Haley, fresh off of Bristol Motor Speedway. As we come into this weekend, we had a big announcement though. Kurt Busch, driver of the 67 2311 Toyota Camry, announcing he is hanging up the helmet at the end of this season. So Kurt Busch will be calling it a career. He at least gets his final full-time season the right way, unlike what he got, of course, in 2022 in real life, unfortunately. So we at least get to give him a proper send-off, and it is going to be John Hunter Nemechek who will be behind the wheel of that car in the 2024 season. So we'll see what he can do. D-Money's already made a banger car with the Mobile One branding on it. So here we are with a brand new paint scheme made by Sanok. It's actually an AJ Allmendinger paint scheme. Looks absolutely fantastic as I get on track. All right, we continue on. So now, aside from that, we got the car fixed and we kept on going here now as we were passing a blown-up Ty Gibbs car. What's going on here? In the beginning of this episode, we announced Kurt Busch retiring. I hit the barrels, and now Ty Gibbs is blown up on track in practice. But things would calm down a little bit after that here. But race number 2 of our probation, I think this is honestly going to be the biggest challenge of our probation, because Talladega, you know, there's not going to be me bumping and running into people other than bump drafting. And I don't know what's after Talladega, maybe Dover, which I'm not too concerned there. But yeah, you can see our practice times, 6 laps we got in, with our 6th one being the slowest with a 20.534. However, getting ready for some qualifying here at the Paperclip for the NOCO 400 here now, as I really love this paint scheme that Sanok whipped up. This looks absolutely fantastic. I think my favorite one so far. All the schemes we have run have been incredible. Other people, of course, aside from Sanok, have made us paint schemes, Lation, D-Money, and they've all looked absolutely spectacular. So we get underway though, down this back straightaway through qualifying, down into turn 3 and 4, getting right there on that curb, not trying to hit the curbing as we exit 4 down the front stretch with a goal of 20.267. We don't beat it. We come up nearly 2/10 short, but 24th place is where we are set to line up on the grid here. So not terrible, not great. Kind of the story of our season so far as the Cup Series rookie. Our teammate of Justin Haley in 29th place. Zane Smith in 37th. I fixed his car. I finally fixed it. Hopefully we'll see it sometime soon. But you can see AJ Allmendinger back in the car, P16 and the number 13 for the part-time car, as Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell line up on the front row as we get ready to go racing on Sunday.
Martinsville, Virginia. Welcome fans to the end of the 3-race short track swing. We cap it off at the Paperclip with some bumping and banging on the way. We saw Kyle Busch win last week in Bristol. Where do we think that 8-team stacks up currently, guys?
I'd say pretty high, Chris. RCR made some behind-the-scenes changes to the team going into last week, and it certainly has paid off.
It is crucial to note, however, that it was a fuel mileage win. However, he was still running significantly better compared to the start of the season.
Alright boys, short tracks have been up and down for us so far, but I don't see why we can't have a good run here today at the Paperclip.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Get after it today.
We are ready to roll here. Harvick having a stellar weekend, so that tells me right off the bat when you see that message that that Ford car, not only is he on pole, but he's going to be really quick as well. So it might be a bit difficult to beat Kevin Harvick here in what will be his first of 2 appearances in his final season, of course, at Martinsville Speedway. His teammate of Chase Briscoe, however, failed technical inspection. One of the bubble drivers in the playoffs will be starting towards the back, but we're not thinking too much about playoffs yet. However, I am, for my situation, of course. We're going to be on the bubble probably all season long unless we can find a way to win, which we almost did in the last episode as we're on by here at Martinsville. If you missed last episode, Kyle Busch with his first win of the season in dramatic fashion with fuel mileage for the first time ever in my NASCAR Heat Series at Bristol coming into effect. Just goes to show, as we have a wild start there was multiple rows of 3 wide, but it just goes to show that after all these years of NASCAR Heat 5 being out, there's times where you still don't know exactly what you're going to get, and that's why I think this game continues to live on and in my opinion, survive compared to, NASCAR 21 Ignition and whatnot as well. But there's just unpredictability that comes with this game with the AI and the cautions. Of course, the yellows that are created by AI are quote-unquote scripted cautions, but I always say I'll take scripted cautions versus a 36 race season that is guaranteed to have no AI error and run green all race long, etc. That's kind of what you got in the Utechnix games back in the day. The only time that there would be a caution was because the AI were so buggy they would be 4 wide running into each other and wrecking each other. Nonetheless, though, a decent start here to a 19-lap stage. Kevin Harvick out to an early sizable lead as we continue to run right in this 21st position for a good chunk of these opening laps. Stage 1 obviously being 19 laps, not very long, not a lot of time to get things done here. But the problem with the 4-star Cutlass car here is the fact that I can really get into the corner well, but the main issue is I cannot launch off the corner, and you can see right there that the 3 car is just continuously able to open up the gap between himself and I by the halfway point of the straightaway to where I cannot be close enough to lunge one up the inside on towards the entrance of the corner. So we basically have to rely on traffic giving us that opportunity, but right now we were not dealing with any lap traffic or anything. Todd Gilliland in the front of this group was kind of holding up Ty Gibbs as well as Allmendinger here now as we come to just a few laps ago at this point in this stage. Eric Jones on my inside smoking, runs into the side of me there. Jones blew a tire, I think, going into the corner and actually ran into me. Thankfully, that didn't crash us, so the caution's going to come out. That will end stage 1. Nobody is going to come into the pit lane, aside from the 43, of course. Kevin Harvick wins stage 1 over Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson up there in the top 5. Kurt Busch fresh off the announcement in the top 10 there. So he might play a role with 2311 Racing, by the way, going into next season and furthermore than that. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of deciding on things to do. There's a lot of kind of behind the scenes things that are happening right now. I'm hoping, so Sanok just made something really cool with the 2024 Mustang that I'm hoping we can bring to life, but now I'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I don't know if he wants it used or not. He did supply a template, so I say it's anything goes, but it's really cool what Sanok did. The work is incredible that he is doing now as we head down into turn 1 on this restart. Again, just like the original start, you see a couple rows of 3 wide. My teammate right there of Allmendinger on the outside, and now we get back to 2x2 down into 3. You saw Byron in the Raptor Chevrolet was able to get clear. Byron, of course, 2 wins on the season there, at least 10 playoff points just because of the wins, but as well as stages. I can't remember how many stages he's won at this current point in time now as we come through 1 and 2. So once again, struggling to get up off the corner. That's where we're losing the time right now to everybody as we head into 3, though, where you can see that this is where the strength of the car is. We're able to dive right down into the corner, get in there, get the car planted right on that curb, but it's the exit where we lack the pace now. But this early part of stage 2 was dominated by a slow 38 of Todd Gilliland. You can see that bright red and white bumper up ahead there. He was slow, and you're not seeing it yet because he's not far behind. It looks like the 45 of Tyler Reddick and the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. But as the laps go on here on the stage, you're going to see that gap between him and the cars in front just continue to expand as I'm working on this McDonald's Toyota here of Bubba Wallace. But we settled in to P18, but now you can see the gap between Gilliland and Reddick, Bowman, Truex extending. So he was holding back everybody, and we were all looking for opportunities to, of course, navigate around him because there's enough laps here for Harvick to get well into lap traffic, but it's probably okay where we are. He's probably not going to get here, but I would actually jump up to the outside and to see if we could make something happen here, hoping that someone's going to be able to find a way around that 38, either that be Gibbs or Brad Keselowski's head into turn 1. Cindric actually lunges one up the inside of Bubba Wallace and forces us 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. So Cindric goes through in the number 2 car. We drop to P18 briefly here. Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin just behind myself. Hamlin, got to be careful around him. He'll run us into the wall and say he never touched us, and he gave us a lane as we head down to 10 to go in this stage, though, as we are right all over the back of that 6 of Keselowski. Nobody had yet found a way to either the outside or the inside of Gilliland until Ty Gibbs through 1 and 2 lap 17 did it, and at that point I had to find a way now to the inside, and thankfully there was a hole between Bubba Wallace and Harrison Burton, so we get back in line behind the 23, and I'm loving it. What I see in front of me here is we exit 4. We'll be up the inside of Keselowski, but he gets such good exit, he slides down in front of me. He'll be able to get through and past the 38 of Gilliland, but I'm also going to be able to follow. Gilliland gets clear, but but I just said, no way, you're getting down. So I just dove it on in there, and it worked. We got up to 18th place again here now towards the end of stage 2. So that whole first 18 laps of stage 2 felt like the field trying to navigate around the 38 of Todd Gilliland here as we come into these final 5 laps. And Harvick about a straightaway behind myself, so obviously we don't have to worry about going a lap down. He was struggling in lap traffic, but he has led every single lap so far. Harvick is dominating here as he looks to get at least one win in his final season of NASCAR Cup Series competition. I had settled into P18, just didn't have a good enough drive off the corner to be able to really attack this 54 of Ty Gibbs, who's starting to make some improvements here as him and myself clearly going to be the 2 drivers battling for Rookie of the Year as Harvick wins stage number 1 here in Martinsville and then comes through to win stage 2 as well as we come through 3 and 4. 10th place is about to cross the line. There it is. 18th place is what it's going to be for us here in stage 2 at the paperclip. So pretty happy. My teammate of Burton, Justin Haley in P20, Allmendinger P21, so we're all within the same vicinity. Now, though, time for some adjustments here. I wanted a bit of a looser car.
We'll loosen it up a bit here for you. Gonna add some tape too.
You hear that right there. So adding a bit of tape, loosening it up a little bit there on the wedge. Not really having to tackle the tire pressures in this episode now. But yeah, nonetheless, getting ready to go back racing here. Riley Herbst, last car running in 39th place, not what he needs if he wants to make that top 30, the Daytona 500 champion, of course, trying to make the playoffs there full time with Rick Ware Racing. We're back underway for the final stage now. Usually, back in the day, we would run 125 laps here for a 25%er, but only 100 now. Of course, the spring race in Martinsville only being 400 laps in real life, so that is the reason, of course, for the reduction of laps here as we head down this backstretch into 3. Hamlin up the inside, Byron right there on a rear bumper, Justin Haley looking to our inside now as we head down this front stretch. Now going backwards in this opening lap of stage number 3. 3 wide in front of us as we head down into turn 1, having to jam it on the brakes right there to try and keep off of Bubba Wallace. Still trying to be careful because of that probation. Like I said, of course, 4 races. As you guys remember what happened back in Richmond, it was pretty ugly as we had that big conversation, of course, at the beginning of the last episode with NASCAR. And what an episode the last one was. I haven't talked about it enough. Bristol, what a race. Not crazy, but just a heck of a race. A big slam on the brakes right there into turn 1 and 2. Austin Dillon 23rd right now. We expect to see him and Kyle Busch continue to run better over the next while after they made those personnel changes, and Kyle Busch picked up the win in the last episode as I go wide on the exit of 2, and that allows Suarez to slip through on the inside. So Suarez struggling right now, and Trackhouse Racing, kind of like real life, you see them struggle a little bit when it comes to short track racing. So now Byron as well trying to look to my inside. I could have jumped down in front of him, but I was committed to trying to go around the outside here because I saw how much of a stack-up line we had on that bottom, but unfortunately it wasn't quite working the way I wanted it to. Suarez with a bit of an awkward exit there allowed me to get back alongside him, but Byron caught us both off guard there, forced it up the inside 3 wide, so now I lose a spot to the 24 and to the 10 of Eric Almirola, who's shown up out of nowhere, having a career best 26th place run, and now we'll hopefully be able to at least pass back to 99. Yes, we will. It'll be easy, actually, out of 4 clear down this front stretch. So back to P26, Christopher Bell struggling here. Of course, he was in position to get his second win of the season in Bristol. He's been in position to get his second win a few times, and things have kind of gone wrong. Speaking of things gone wrong, the 21 of Harrison Burton around in 3 and 4. The caution is going to fly here in Martinsville, forcing everybody into the pit lane here. We could stay out, but I did want right side tires. We loosened it up a bit more as well, so we'll be probably restarting 25th, 24th area as we get a look. Harrison Burton running 13th, a great run for the driver in his sophomore season, loses the tire, goes around in 3. Harrison gets a little bit of contact as well from the 14 at Briscoe as we do in fact gain 1 position in the pit lane. Get ready to go back racing here now. Lap 60 coming to 61, so 40 laps of racing at Martinsville. That's not a lot of time here, of course, with a 19 to 20 second lap time. Yeah, we're running out of time. They're 4 wide up there. They are 4 wide. Truex, Hamlin, I think it was Ty Gibbs and my teammate of Justin Haley as I drove into the back of that 23 of Bubba Wallace right there, but it wasn't long, but there was a good couple seconds. They were 4 wide racing in Martinsville. Shades out of the Utechniks days in NASCAR 14 and 15, way back in the day. Those were my early days of NASCAR gaming, of course. Now, my first ever NASCAR game, let me know down below, what was your first ever NASCAR game? My first ever one that I got to like legitimately play was NASCAR 09, and then 2011 Inside Line, 13, 14, etc. All through that era of NASCAR gaming. Now, as you can see myself trying to work my way back forward, we passed the one of Ross Chastain. Trackhouse has no cars currently in the top 20. Chastain, of course, a two-time winner this season, tied for the most alongside William Byron. Speaking of Byron, he was actually able to get my inside after I passed Ty Gibbs, so he's going to go complete the pass. I let him have it, just get in behind him there and hold off that one car. Harvick, on lap 69 so far, has led every single lap this race. He is unbeatable in this Ford car now. And I think the cautions are helping him because he's not having to navigate as much through the lap traffic, so it gives second, third, fourth just very little opportunities to be able to run him down and attack him and maybe put him into an awkward spot where they shuffle him out to the outside and they can slip through on the inside, and the caution comes out. And just speaking about that of benefiting Kevin Harvick, there's another one. Could not find the reason for this caution in the replay. As you can see, Harvick's out front over Larson, Elliott, Reddick, and Cindric, who's really rallied forward, and Allmendinger's really rallied forward into P11, and Haley as well in the top 30 or top 15. So having a really good run they are, as we have continued to kind of hover in this 20th place area here, that I would say 18th to 23rd, 24th. We've just kind of been in that area all day long. We're back underway. Now it's only going to be a little over 20 laps to go. The car just does not go on the restart. You did see when the caution came out, our AI had some contact. Thankfully, a big stack up into turn one brings us right back into the mix now. It's not a long, of course, run into the corner. Going 3 wide around the outside of the 20 of Christopher Bell, who has continued to fall off as the race has gone on. You see Ryan Preece right there running P20. We're trying to get to the outside of him. Right in front of us, there's Kurt Busch. He was in the top 5 earlier in this race. Now he's fading as well, as he's about to get passed by his teammate of Bubba Wallace. 23-11, I expect to see better things out of them in the coming weeks here now of episodes, because, yeah, they've kind of been off a little bit here now. As I just saw, it's Ty Gibbs, the reason for the last caution. I just saw his pit stall had his car in it, so day over for the 54 and Rookie of the Year contender. Clear of Kurt Busch for P19 now as we try to stick with Bubba. Harvick continues to lead the way. Is he going to lead every single lap here? I don't know when the last time that's happened in one of my NASCAR Heat 5 career mode episodes, but it looks like it's going to happen as I unfortunately overdrive turn 1 on lap 89. That opens the door for the 41 of Ryan Preece to slip through on the inside. I had nothing for him. He cleared me with ease as we dive down into turn 3. So Harrison Burton, who wrecked earlier, is up to my back bumper in P21. So Burton has had a heck of a race here today. It's races like that that get you opportunities in the future. Nonetheless, now trying to fight back on that 41 of Priest, but I was kind of struggling to do so here as we head down into turn 3. Lap 96 now starting to look like I don't think we're getting a caution. I think we're going green to the end, but just still can't quite get the run off the corner to attack the 41 down into the corner. 2 laps to go as Harvick, as you see, watch the track map there, leading the way into 3 and 4. It's crucial for him to get back to the white flag as we head down this backstretch. Harvick exits turn 4. White flag is in the air. Harvick, in his final season of NASCAR Cup Series competition, has not won yet. Early on in the season, he's dominated this race, and Chase Elliott has passed Kevin Harvick on the final lap down the back straightaway into turn 3. Chase Elliott, who hasn't won either, is sure enough out of turn 4, gonna steal the win on the very last lap in the lap traffic battle. Harvick loses out. Elliott wins the race in Martinsville. We're gonna exit turn 4 down this front stretch. Not enough for the 41. It's a respectable 20th place effort, but the story is on Kevin Harvick. It's a 100 lap race. He led 99 and a quarter, and Chase Elliott led 3/4 of a lap to win the race. AJ Allmendinger somehow got Harvick. I don't know how the heck he went on the run he did. And Haley rallied up to 7th place too. Our 2 teammates clearly found something that we couldn't find, because we were running in a similar position to both of them earlier in the race in stage 1 and stage 2, both of them. So to watch them do what they did was a bit baffling for me. Zane Smith in 35th. Like I said, I swear I changed his car. It's fixed now. You just didn't see it in this episode. But here is the playoff standings for trucks, Xfinity, and Cup here now before we wrap things up. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that Harvick led 99 and a quarter laps of a 100 lap race and blew it right at the end in the lap traffic. I mean, heartbreaking there for Harvick, and you never know. That could have been his final shot to win a NASCAR Cup Series race in his Cup career. Of course, a lot of racing to go. We are only at 9 races in. Next up, it's Talladega. We are now 13 points out of the playoffs. So yeah, some work to do. Don't worry about the AJ Allmendinger name. You can disregard that. Of course, he is not full-time. Briscoe 16 now. Truex has some work to do. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys next episode in Talladega. Have a great day, everybody.